Transiting Saturn, conjunct Pluto, 2019-2020. The aspect of the magician, the ability to direct mystical creative power into manifestation in 3D reality. Conjunction equals power through the fusion of two energies. New beginnings. 1. Saturn is the gatekeeper between two states of consciousness, third dimensional versus universal consciousness. Saturn rules the illusion of time in 3D and the hierarchy of the material world. This includes all the current structures of society. Saturn represents ego-centered consciousness, the small self, who believes he is the ultimate power in his world and has ultimate control over his world. Pluto rules the collective unconscious, the collective psyche of man. His energies in your life will bring the ego-centered self to the burning ground as human consciousness is made aware of divine consciousness. Pluto energies will dismantle and destroy everything blocking the life force, the unfolding of the higher self. The outdated, obsolete structures that no longer serve us but represent a false sense of security will be eliminated. Initially, Saturn, representing the current structure, the established order, will frantically work to sustain itself against what is perceived to be Pluto's threat of annihilation. The best way to deal with Pluto energies is to consciously surrender to the process and assist it. The destructive side of Pluto usually occurs when there is resistance to the unfolding of the higher self. Pluto acting on Saturn is asking us to confront our greatest fears, and through surrendering to the higher self, overcome them. Through Pluto, Saturn, the control freak, learns that ultimately we control nothing. And this is what Saturn, the shadow aspect of our psyche, fears the most. Transiting Pluto energies impacting personal planets in the natal chart by hard aspect, such as the Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Midheaven, Mercury, Venus, or Mars, will disrupt the current reality and the structures and defenses erected by Saturn, the ego-centered self, so that the higher self, the divine self, can unfold into consciousness. Whatever is permanently lost is no longer relevant to this unfolding. The props of the ego-centered self are cleared away to make room for the authentic self to come forward. This is the number one purpose of the soul's incarnation in 3D. Pluto's gift is always greater self-empowerment. This occurs when a person realizes he is not his ego-centered props, but something eternal and much greater. Pluto-Saturn conjunction. Summary. Saturn's tendency toward erecting walls of self-defense and self-protection, safety and security, will be blown away by the nuclear blast of Pluto. In any struggle between these two energies, Pluto will always win. The Saturnian urge to preserve the status quo is pitted against a force beyond Saturn consciousness and human control. The metaphorical death that occurs under Pluto transits is always the death of the small self, the ego-centered consciousness. The structures that crumble are outgrown modes of being. From the ashes will arise a new and greater form that encompasses the totality of all creation. This is the seat of the higher self, the authentic version of you.